What's up everyone, Mastermind here with another video. Today's video is going to be episode 1 of my new series that I'm going to start doing on YouTube called Gaming Ideas. So the first game I'm going to do is a game near and dear to my heart. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's get started. So let's start first with what I think has been a big problem with the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and that is the gimmicks. There is absolutely no denying that in the last few years we've had quite a bit of Sonic gimmicks and terrible games. We don't need Sonic turning into a werewolf or anything like that. I mean, what's next? They're going to turn him into a ninja or... I mean, it's kind of getting crazy, but another obvious thing here are all the characters. It's really a bit much, and in my opinion, just completely unnecessary. Now, my son, he's 8 years old, and he's been a huge Sonic fan most of his life, and he enjoys a lot of the characters of the franchise, and that's fine. Keep him in some of the cinematics or cameo appearances or in the cartoon shows or whatever they're doing with it, but I don't think we need to really see it in a Sonic game. Let's just try to keep it Sonic the Hedgehog. Worst case scenario, you throw Tails in there, or maybe one or two other characters, maybe Knuckles or Shadow, to maybe change it up a bit, or if they're going to do like maybe a co-op, or you want to give a second player the option. But for the most part, it should really focus on Sonic. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely can appreciate the fact that Sega has tried to be innovative when it comes to gameplay and some of the design choices that they've done with Sonic. I understand that they're trying to evolve the character, but I also understand that this is a franchise and they're going to try to milk every penny that they can out of it. So what Nintendo has done with the Mario series is, they've made some major changes over the years, but for the most part, they're kind of incremental. They'll add something here and there. Of course, there was a huge jump from 2D to 3D, but for the most part, they've kind of kept the same formula going for the last couple of years. And it's worked out for them. I think the Mario series is kind of getting a little stale, not so much the characters in the world, but just the gameplay. They've kind of rehashed a lot of the same gameplay elements, but they're still getting very high reviews, they're still very enjoyable games, and they're still selling very well. And I think that is the biggest thing that Nintendo has going for them, is their franchises. And I think maybe if Sega kind of took a page out of what Nintendo's doing, they'd find a lot more success. Considering that there aren't many mascots or franchises that are quite like this anymore, I think the fact that Sonic has continued to make games over the last few years is actually a positive sign. So what do they have to do in my mind to make a perfect Sonic game? Well, the first thing I think they need to do, aside from the things I've already mentioned, is keep it 2D. Both the gameplay and the art design needs to take Sonic back to its roots. We're seeing a lot of successful franchises doing that today. One of my favorite games in the last few years has been Rayman Legends. I think what they've managed to do with that is they took a character, a franchise, an old one, and they decided, you know what, we're going to remake it and we're going to make it for the fans. And you can tell every bit of detail, every little thing that's gone into this game was for the fans, and there was a lot of love and passion behind it. You can feel it in every single thing that they did, between the music stages and the artwork and the gameplay. Everything was done for the fans, and Rayman is still the focus, and they had the other characters, but really it's Rayman. The game is called Rayman for a reason, and that's what you're focusing on. And it's fast gameplay. And could you imagine a 2D Sonic hand-drawn similar to this? Not as far as similar in the art style, but similar as far as 2D graphics, really nice art style. Sega needs to hire some really great artists and kind of, I'm not going to say reimagine Sonic, because you don't want to really do that, kind of like what they're doing with the Sonic Boom. What you want to do is really just go back to its roots and make it a beautiful game. And I think a lot of these new franchises that are coming out now, well, the old ones that they're remaking, they're doing to some degree of success because they're trying to keep it faithful to the original game. Strider was able to evolve without compromising the integrity of the franchise, just like Mario, just like Rayman, and just like games like Zelda. As far as gameplay goes, I would like to see them enhance the gameplay without turning it to a totally different game. I think that's been the major problem with the Sonic franchises, is that they keep reinventing the gameplay when really, if you go back to Sonic 1 through Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles, they didn't really have to change anything about those things, just add to it. So for instance, keep the spin dash, even keep the homing attacks, that's pretty cool. Keep the ring system, there's nothing wrong with that. Keep the emerald, the Chaos Emeralds, but do it differently. Give each one an incentive. Let's say like after you complete each level and you beat a boss, you get a Chaos Emerald, but you're able to get a new power. So maybe you can, I don't know, fly, in one of the levels. So you get the Chaos Emerald and it gives you the ability to kind of shoot up in the air. Not like fly, like totally fly, but, just gives you some kind of enhancement. Or maybe you get like a super spin dash where maybe it's more powerful than the normal spin dash that you normally have. Or maybe your homing attack can lock on to like 4 enemies at one time and hit them all in one shot. Do something cool, and each time you get a Chaos Emerald is something else. Also, they can give us more power-ups. We have the coin power-up, and we have the shield, and we have the invincibility. But give different kind of power-ups. Maybe, how like Mario, you had like the giant Mario, the really small Mario. Do something like that so maybe Sonic can get into spaces that he normally couldn't. These kind of gameplay changes, I think, would be welcome. It wouldn't be something where fans of the game would be like, oh, why are they doing this? This isn't Sonic. It would still be Sonic. It would still feel like Sonic, but it would have enhancements. And I think that's what the franchise really needs. If you keep these elements in play, as I've mentioned, I would be a very happy camper, as well many other Sonic fans out there. So the last thing I want to leave you with is one more thing I think we could have in the game, and that's please keep the Sonic classic attitude and animations, especially if they do like a 2D style art where you can really see his facial expressions. Keep all of that because it was great. His animations when you stay still and different things, but please let's lose the voice acting. It's so annoying to hear Sonic and Tails and the dialogue and whoever writes it. I understand that they look at it as almost like a child franchise, a kid franchise, but man, it's just so awful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first episode of my gaming ideas. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I do appreciate you watching. Mastermind out.